5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All systems go with Josh Appelbaum starts now.
Hello and welcome to episode 461 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. I am your host, Josh Appelbaum. What's going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday, another day here in the arena, guys. We're going to get right back to betting college basketball because now is the time. Now is the time to have our finger on the pulse of college hoops because we're winding down the regular season. So if you look at a lot of these schedules right now, guys, you're only looking at 3, 4, maybe 5 games left in the regular season. So one thing that came to mind watching some games over the last few days or last week or so is you're starting to see brackets appear on the screen, looking at seeding for the conference tournaments coming up, or situations where you have to win a certain amount of games just to make your conference tournament. So something we should be aware of here going into the tail end of the college basketball season before it really heats up with conference tournaments, and of course the best time of year to be betting on anything, I would argue. The Super Bowl is great, but March Madness is the all-time greatest sporting event because it's multiple days, and it's awesome, and it's madness. But these are the things, again, thinking about toward the tail end of the year. Also, revenge angles. Second time around, this team lost to the previous team last time. Okay, can they get some revenge and win the second one? And then also, you are looking at some, senior nights or last home game of the season. Sometimes you see a little boost there, especially if that team has a lot of seniors. So these are, again, the things that we're looking toward as we finish up the regular season, but we do still have a few more games to get to, guys. So on a big Tuesday here with college hoops, getting right back to it, I have another 3-pack for you, all 3 moneyline short favorites. So we're going to see if we can find a way to scratch and claw, get 2 out of 3, eke out a winning night, which is always the goal. 2 of the plays I have for you have really good sharp mush edges from our friends at Juice Reel. So a reminder, the sharp mush edge is a great feature from Juice Reel, where it's going to identify the games where the people who have downloaded Juice Reel, synced up their books, they have winning records. Again, Juice Reel, the AI model tracks it, and when a lot of winning bettors are on one side, the losing bettors are on the other side, it'll give you that percentage difference or discrepancy, which is something we always like to see if we're on a game. And then also, there is another game tonight with a really sharp green star recommendation from our friends at Rhythm, telling us that this team on the money line with a good, actually decent edge on the spread as well, is a highly recommended play. So 3 plays overall. You know the drill. Let's try to get 2 out of 3, eke out a winning night. Now, looking back to our last night, guys, a little bit annoying. 1 and 2, minus 1.05 units. We had a fantastic hit with Kansas. I mean, Kansas was just an incredible contrarian play. And remember, we were talking about what it means to be trying to avoid the gambler's fallacy. I made the joke yesterday about gambler's fallacy, a team being due, or as the legend goes in Monaco, where everyone was playing red on the roulette wheel because it kept being black, and they just kept doing it, saying it's gotta be red, but no, it took like 25 spins. So moral of the story yesterday was Kansas against Houston. Everyone on Houston, because Houston is such a great team, and there's no freaking way they can lose 3 games in a row. What happens? Kansas rolls, public all over Houston, but that 2.5 kind of stayed line freezy-ish. We had a great hit there with Kansas winning outright 69-56. Unfortunately, super annoying, East Texas A&M ended up losing by 1 point, and they were playing a team that was 2-14 on the road, and they ended up losing by 1. So that was frustrating. But the one that was really annoying was Louisville, because Louisville, first off, jumped out to a really good lead early. Then they just completely imploded. They missed 15 straight shots at one point, and then they made it interesting and clawed back there toward the very end, had a chance to tie it, ended up losing by 3. What was really annoying to me is there was a call that was not made in that game where, if you remember watching the game, I'm like, okay, this better not come back to bite us. But there was a layup where Vasar, the big guy, I think he was on Arizona last year, he touched the rim as the ball was in the cylinder. And it should have been called goaltender interference. That's hockey, but interference. And it was not called, and they allowed the 2 points when it should have been negated. End up losing by 3. But what was really annoying about Louisville is that, did you guys see where that line closed? We got around minus 150 on the money line. They closed like minus 200. there was massive steam there late where, again, we were looking at Louisville at the time around -2.5, -3. They end up closing -3.5, -4, even -4.5. So it's a little insult to injury that we did our part, got off to a nice lead, completely imploded, couldn't bring that full comeback, full circle. But again, you bet a money line at -150, it closes -200. That's CLV. That's closing line value. Unfortunately, CLV, it won't guarantee a winner, but it tells me that we made the right call, and Louisville, the players on the court, let us down. So again, no crying in baseball, no crying CLV losers, but we're going to see if we can get right back to it, eke out a winning night, which again is always the goal. So with that being said, let's waste no more time. I got 3 plays for you, and I'll be honest with you guys, I could have added a few more. I actually really like the slate here tonight. There are a couple dogs I was looking at, a couple other favorites I was leaning on. But I said, you know what? Let's try to stick to our 3-pack here, not force too many plays, which is really how you get in trouble, and try to go 2-1. So first one on the board for me, let's look at a 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tip-off between Coastal Carolina and Georgia State. Let's set the stage, talk splits, line movement, system matches. I'll give you my play for this one. So Coastal Carolina comes in 17-12 on the year. However, they have won 3 of their last 4. Just beat Marshall 79-75. They won that game outright as a 2.5-point home dog. On the other hand, Georgia State 10-19 on the year. They've dropped 7 of their last 8. Just got beat up by James Madison 80-65. Did not cover as a 2-point home dog. So what have you seen across the market here? Well, this game opened at roughly a pick'em. Most games were pick'em. I saw one book actually open Georgia State -1 at home. And even though we open at a pick'em, it's always important to me. I mention this quite a bit because I think the importance of this pod is, you win games, you lose games, but you want to learn things along the way, like the gambler's fallacy last night, which came through for us with fading Houston and playing in Kansas. But the other angle for me is, again, I mentioned this before, but when a game opens at a pick'em, where does the line move? That's really critical to me. A pick'em game, you'll see it in baseball too. Both teams open -110. Or maybe in football, a team opens at a pick, and you got to ask yourself, okay, wise guys, maybe they have, based on their internal numbers, their power ratings, they have a pick too, which means, hey, there's no edge. You got to remember, wise guys are only betting if they have an edge. If they don't have an edge, they lay off. And it can be any kind of game, big game, small game, one sport, a different sport, it doesn't matter. However, sometimes when you see a game open at a pick, wise guys will jump on a side. They'll say, hey, odds makers, we think that they have it a little bit wrong. We have this team, -2. It opens at a pick. You're going to hammer that team because you have identified an edge or an advantage over the sportsbook. So you open at a pick. Where is this line gone? It's gone toward Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina hasn't bet up from a pick or even getting a point to now -1, -1.5. That tells us smart money siding with the Chanticleers. Now you look at DK, 68% of spread bets, but 88% of spread dollars are on Coastal Carolina. So further evidence of, again, slight public lean, but heavy smart money on Coastal. Now, Ken Palm does have Coastal winning, but only by 1 point, 68-67. He does, however, have the chance ranked a little bit higher, 237th versus 296th for Georgia State. But you know me, this is a money line short favorite play for me, so I was able to get Coastal money line at -115 at BetMGM. I think that might still be available, but shop around because a bunch of books are at -120 or -125 now. But again, win by 1. Ken Palm's got him by 1. We want to win that bet. We need that bet to win, not push or lose a 1.5. But anyway, aside from the money line, short favorite price, we have seen historically, or so far this season at least, when you're a short road favorite of -4 or less, and the line moves at least a half point in your favor, those teams are 108-67 this year straight up, 62% with a 6% ROI. Coastal has the better offensive efficiency. They rank 307th versus 330th for Georgia State. They also have the better defensive efficiency. Kind of a big edge here, 136th versus 213th. I noticed a few other advantages. The Chants have the better three-point shooting, 178th versus 316th. They hold their opponents to a better effective field goal percentage, 14th versus 148th, and they limit their opponents to far fewer offensive rebounds, 48th versus 309th. By the way, Coastal Carolina's 8-7 on the road this year. May not sound great, but that's actually one of only 3 teams in the Sun Belt with a winning record on the road. So hopefully they're road warriors for us tonight. Lastly, I mentioned this earlier, tail end of the season. I like these revenge angles. You did see the Chants lose to the Panthers 89-71 on their home court back in early January. So let's see if they can repay the favor. They remember that loss and try to enact some revenge here. So pick 'em game or even a dog to fave toward Coastal. We got good splits, system matches, and oh, by the way, this is the game that had the Rhythm Green Star moneyline recommendation. Rhythm actually had Coastal minus 2.4, but there was an official Green Star ML little star icon on the Coastal moneyline tonight. So that gives me more confidence to hope that Coastal can come through. So first bet on the board for me, Coastal Carolina. Let's go Chanticleers on the money line, minus 115, minus 120. Next one for you. Let's look at a 9 p.m. Eastern Time game in the ACC. Heavily bet matchup between Miami and Florida State. Now, coming in, we got Miami, the U, 21-6 on the year. Did, however, just see their 4-game win streak come to an end. They lost to Virginia 86-83, but played hard, covered as a 7.5-point road dog. Meanwhile, FSU, 14-13 on the year. They've won 3 in a row and just had a big upset win over Clemson, 70-65. They won that game outright as an 8.5-point road dog. So what have we seen across the market here? Well, this game opened with Miami listed as a very short 1.5-point road favorite. So, similar to a pick'em, where does the line move? Think of it as a short road favorite. Does the public say, hey, grab that home team getting points? Or do they say, hey, that's a little light for that road favorite? Well, it looks like sharps have said this line's a little bit light because we've seen Miami tick up from minus 1.5 up to minus 2.5. So first indication there is line move toward the U. I noticed at Circa. Again, Circa, a very sharp book, does not kick out or refuse smart money, takes it in, which I think is smart because even though sharps might hit you, win some games, take some of your money, it's very important to get that insight, which can help you shape and move the number. But at Circa in Vegas, Miami's getting 33% of spread bets, but 83% of spread dollars. A massive low bets, higher dollars sharp split in favor of Miami. Now, Ken Pom has Miami winning by 3, 81-78. He also has the Hurricanes ranked higher, 39th in the country versus 71st for FSU. So you know me, this is a moneyline short favorite play once again. I got Miami on the money line at minus 135. I believe that was either DraftKings or Ballybet. But shop around because I'm seeing some books as high as minus 140, minus 150. Now, aside from a mitigate risk, just win the damn game play, money lining the U, I have a system match here. When two teams in the ACC play each other in conference play, take the road favorite. It's a very simple system, but that system is 36-11 straight up this season. That's a 77% win rate with a 9% ROI. Miami does have the better offensive efficiency, 46th in the country versus 75th for the Noles, and better defensive efficiency, 41st versus 83rd. Hurricanes also have the better effective field goal percentage, 32nd versus 205th. Better offensive rebound percentage, 14th versus 159th, and better three-point percentage, 199th versus 281st. Once again, revenge spot. Miami lost to FSU there at home in late January and lost 65-63. So this is a revenge angle. We got a short favorite becoming more of a favorite. Really good splits out there at Circa. And oh, by the way, pop open juice reel, 19% sharp mush edge on Miami. So you add it all up, I'm sweating the U here, guys. Give me Miami around minus 135 on the money line. Last bet of the night. Put on a pot of coffee. Get your dunks. Because we're going to sweat Nevada at home against New Mexico. 11 p.m. Eastern Time tip. Now, New Mexico comes in 21-6. They've won 3 straight. Just held off Fresno State 80-78. But did not cover that one. They were actually a 9.5-point road favorite. Only won by 2. Meanwhile, Nevada 18-9. Just snapped a 2-game losing skid with a big 80-77 win over Utah State. They were a 5.5-point home dog in that one. Won the game outright. So what have we seen across the market here? Well, this game opened as low as a pick'em. So again, we'll get right back to as we were talking about with Coastal Carolina pick'em game. Where does the line move? Well, what's interesting about this one is that the public says New Mexico is the better team. They're 21-6. Nevada, yeah, you're 18-9, decent record, but New Mexico, far better record. Coin flip, public is saying you got to go Lobos here. So nearly 60% of spread bets are going with the Lobos. However, even though 60% of tickets roughly are on New Mexico, this line hasn't flipped to New Mexico -1, -2. No, it's gone further up toward Nevada. Pick 'em up to -1.5. And I even see a couple shops juice toward Nevada -1.5, -115. So that's my first indicator here. That public is on New Mexico, a trendy dog, but the line's moving toward Nevada. The contrarian, fade the trendy dog, chalk favorite. So, KenPom has Nevada winning by 1, 76-75. So you know me, money line, a short favorite. I was able to get Nevada -122 at Ballybet. Shop around because a lot of books are closer to -125. But I really like the splits at DraftKings, in particular on the Nevada money line. 43% bets, over 50% dollars. So telling us those bigger, sharper wagers are going with the Wolfpack to win the game. System play for you, Mountain West. 2 teams in the Mountain West play each other in conference play. Take the home favorite. Those teams have gone 41-6 straight up, 87%, 6% ROI this year. Nevada does have a couple clear advantages. One is way better offensive rebound percentage, 108th in the country versus 225th for New Mexico. Better free throw percentage, could be huge in a potentially close game. Got to knock down your charity stripe hits instead of missing them. 71st in the country versus 122nd for the Lobos. They shoot the 3 better, 28th versus 49th, and they do a better job of not turning it over on offense, ranking 36th in fewest turnover percentage versus 91st for the Lobos. Once again, revenge play. Nevada lost to New Mexico on the road 80-73 back in late January. So pick'em game. Public's on New Mexico, but the line is shot up to Nevada. KenPom's got them by 1. We got some good splits, good system matches. And oh, by the way, popped open Juice Reel. Noticed a 33%, pretty big, 33% sharp mush indicator on the Nevada money line. So 33% more of the sharper winning bettors at Juice Reel are going Nevada on the money line. So long story short, guys, let's unite the Wolfpack. Get the Wolfpack together. Is this the real Caesar's Palace? Who let the dogs out? Some hangover references for you. But I'm on the Wolfpack -122. So 3 money line short favorites: Coastal Carolina, Miami, and Nevada. Let's find a way to get 2 out of 3. That is, of course, the goal. So that about does it for episode 461 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. This is the part of the pod where we wrap things up, and I always start first by saying thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for grinding in the arena with me every single day through the ups and the downs, the good and the bad, the hot streaks, the cold streaks, because, again, that's life and that's sports betting. But we're always staying consistent with our blueprint and discipline with our model. So as always, we're trying to preach that data-driven approach. But if you enjoy these insights, you value the insights, and hopefully you look forward to the pod dropping each day, could you please scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Give this podcast a 5-star review. Whether you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, you want to leave a nice comment, rate and review, click the follow button. That way you get a pop-up on your phone when it drops each afternoon, or recommend the pod to a friend. Or, as always, you can retweet the pod when I put it out on Twitter at Josh_insights. But if you want to do one or all of those things, I would be very, very impressed and very thankful. Next, if you enjoy this style of betting breakdown, data-driven, sharp contrarian betting, focusing on line movement, bet splits, system matches, betting games based on what the market is telling us and the numbers, not the bias in our that thing in your head that tells you what you should do based on recency bias or favoritism or gut instinct. But if this style of betting has appealed to you, you've been provided a blueprint to attack the market, and you want to learn more about data-driven betting, or maybe you have a friend or a colleague or a family member who wants to get into sports betting but has no freaking clue where to start. They can't tell you the difference between a money line and a teaser. Well, you know what you should do? You should go to Amazon.com and type in the NFL Sharp Betting Playbook, or type in the Everything Guide to Sports Betting. Those are my 2 books that I've written. I'm very proud of both. But if you want to pick one up, or both of them, really be a hero, I'd love to meet you at the book. I'll sign them for you. Put my John Hancock down on there, and we'll sweat some games together. Get some nachos. Have a couple drinks. I would very much enjoy that. Next, have you downloaded Rhythm and Juice Reel yet? My 2 favorite sports betting apps. They help me win. I'm confident they're going to help you win. So Rhythm is great for their AI-backed models and predictions for game bets and player props. Reminder, we have a Rhythm rundown Thursday night, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Myself and my buddy Kate Harper. So looking forward to that. And then, of course, Juice Reel. Juice Reel has so many great features. You can get the Robo Jackson best bet picks, the sharp mush indicators, the arbitrage plays, the shop for the best line futures. You can sync up your books, get a running report card of your action to keep yourself honest, and learn about yourself as a bettor. It's going to give you units won and lost, percentages based on different sports and bet types. But most of all, if you want to tip your podcast host, I'm going to pass the hat. If you'd like to toss in a $5 bill, and I'll give you 1 cent back, because for $4.99, that's $4.99 a week, you can get the ASG Best Bet picks exclusively and directly from the Juice Reel app. So as soon as I make a bet, got my book synced up, it goes right to Juice Reel. And you can tailor or fade or do whatever you like. But again, you enjoy the pod, it's free. Tip your podcast host. Get those $4.99 a week. Again, $4.99 a week best bets from Juice Reel. So download Rhythm, download Juice Reel, give them a 5-star review in the App Store. Next, you have a live odds page. Well, if you don't have one, you need one. You got to be able to track the market. The market's moving. It's fluid. It's constantly changing. We got to be able to figure out, okay, what did the line open at? Got an open column that stays static, never changes. Then all the current odds to the right at the different sports books. Shop for the best price. Find the best number. Live in-game wagering odds. Live scoring. Again, identifying steam, pulling up line history. You can do all of this with the Odds Logic live odds page. So I'd love for you to give it a shot. I think you're going to enjoy it. I use it every day. But go to this special link, oddslogic.com/Josh123. That's going to give you a 7-day free trial and 50% off your first month of service. So, of course, guys, 2 final thoughts. 1, whether I see you at the Borgata in Atlantic City, Twin River in Rhode Island, the Brook in New Hampshire, Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun down in Connecticut, at the Encore in Boston, Plainridge Park Casino, MGM Springfield, the Nash, in my neck of the woods on the border of Massachusetts and New Hampshire, or out in the desert where the true grinders get down, where Billy Walters sends his number runners, where the lowest juice possible is found at the South Point, or Sweat and Sharp Contrarian plays jumping in the stadium swim pool when you cash a big ticket at Circa. Wherever it may be, you're going to walk up to me, show me a beautiful Kansas Jayhawks ticket. That was really the hit of the night. Whatever you do, East Texas and Louisville hurt because, again, they had a lead, they blew it. They teased us at the end, but we really crushed that closing line, so that's frustrating. But either way, guys, show me the Kansas ticket. First one's on me, next one's on you. We'll post about the book. Sweat Sharp Contrarian plays all night long. So as always, guys, coming off a 1-2 or a 2-1, an 0-3 or a 3-0, a great night, a terrible night, a mediocre night, a hot streak, a cold streak, whether we're up or down or grinding, we just got to stick to the model, stick to the blueprint. Never get too high and cocky and arrogant when things are going well. Never get too far down in the dumps when things aren't going our way. Even keel. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So if we can find the games that fit our model against the public, with the house, with the pros, flat bet, avoid parlays and get that CLV. If we can do that, we're going to be successful sports bettors. So have a great Tuesday night, everybody. And I'll be right back at it for Hump Day Edition. That'll be tomorrow's Wednesday's ASG podcast, episode 461 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast. Have a great Tuesday night, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck.